Today on CritiX Talk, we're talking Captain Marvel. Full spoilers ahead and review on the way.
And who was your MVP of the film?
Stay tuned.
Woo.
Welcome to CritiX Talk, episode 50, Klep.
5-0.
5-0.
5-0.
Yo,
5-0.
we in here. It's your boy Migz alongside the one and only Klep.
It's your boy. What's good, y'all?
Yo, and today we're talking about Marvel's latest installment.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel herself has finally joined the MCU.
Yes, she has. She has
Klep.
arrived. She's here. She has made her mark, and people hate it and love it.
Hey, how did you enjoy the film? That's what I'm really curious
I'm gonna
about.
be real. As a real critic, I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, let's be real.
It was okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't horrible.
No.
I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I've actually seen it twice already. It's already Sunday. Supposed to see it again. So, I mean,
three for three. 3 nights.
It's not the best Marvel film, but it's necessary in some points.
Yeah.
In some points. It's
See,
cool.
the way I described it is, I know it's getting some flack, but it's because it's a little basic as far as compared to what we've been getting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this is a straight up Phase 1 throwback.
Yeah.
It's an origin film. We don't get those a lot these days. At least not from Marvel. You know what I'm saying?
My only concern with it was that, like, it's a phase, like you said, a Phase 1 film in a Phase 3
world.
And I feel like we're too far on.
Yeah.
Like, this should have been held back for Phase 4. I think they should have maybe teased her in Endgame and then brought her full on with her own solo to set off Phase 4 instead of dropping her in the middle of Phase 3 or the end of what we know is the end of Phase 3. So there's like a love-hate relationship with me in this film. Like, I enjoy it because it's all things Marvel. There are plenty of Easter eggs that get your beak wet.
As always.
But was it necessary?
Yes, she's the big guns, bro. She is the big guns. We have yet to see a character at her power level that's so in control.
Yeah.
And this is on her origin story. Like, what at one point I turned to you, Klep, and I was like, she's just having fun out here, bro.
Yeah. I mean, how did you feel about her Brie Larson?
Brie Larson?
Yeah, how do you feel about her?
You know what? She did the badass thing really well. She was stone-faced, and it's like exactly what, some of the criticism that, we talked about when we broke down the trailer was that, she's super serious the whole time. And yeah, she was that. Like, she was all about her business. It was never like I said, not till the end that I thought she was ever having fun at one point.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like there's something that's not connecting with me. It has nothing to do with her being a female superhero because I loved it regardless. Wonder Woman was great. Yeah. I love female superheroes. It's just something about the story. To watch all these characters that you've seen for so long, bring it back and pretend as though they don't know what's going on. Yeah. It's just kind of weird to me. And I had an issue with the whole time period piece, like 1990s.
It was just a thrown away thing.
You don't really, it's the 90s from the beginning setup when she falls into Blockbuster, but after that, it's like, it just feels like a woman with like a retro sense of style. Yeah. And I said that in the review. It just, other than the soundtrack in the film, you really don't really know that you're there. Like, it doesn't. They didn't have to say.
And if you think about it, Klep,
yeah.
some of the flashbacks within the film, they were taking place in the 80s, bro.
Yeah, when she was younger.
When she was younger, when she was like joining, like when she was a recruit, doing her boot camp thing. Yeah. Like, that had to be in the 80s, because when she landed, it was mid 90s.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it's a solid film to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
You may get a thrill out of watching it the first time, and definitely bring your daughters.
Yeah,
bring your daughters, bring your sisters, bring your mothers. I mean, this is a woman empowerment feature, and
girl power all the way.
Yeah, and it's great. It does that well, and that's the message I walked away with. I enjoyed watching her rise, and finding herself and gaining her true power, because she does gain her true power.
I love that. I love that line at the end when they're like, "Hey, you're only human," and she's like, "Yeah, I'm only human." Yeah. She gets up, she owns it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what it was all about. Let's go back into the film, Klep. Okay. Let's just dive right into it. Spoilers ahead, so you've been warned. Klep, the storyline itself, did it work for you? I know that a guy like yourself, you're super familiar with what to expect with these superhero films, and not only that, but you're a diehard comics fan.
Yeah.
You know what this plot's bringing. Were you happy with what they portrayed in the cinematic version of Captain Marvel story.
I accepted it.
Yeah.
Do understand that this is the Marvel Cinematic Universe version of Captain Marvel, and even as Carol Danvers is from the comics, even her origin is a lot different from what you may be used to. I thought there were some changes that weren't necessary. Let's, like we said, spoilers ahead. So Marvel, who we've known for years in the comics, going all the way back to the first iteration of Captain Marvel. He was a guy.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand why they changed the guy to a female. Yeah. Which, I mean, it's fine, but
it didn't at
that point, it feels like they're chasing clout. Like, you know what I mean? They're clout chasing for the whole independent women and the whole movement. And like you didn't have to do that. You could have still built this character to be just the way she was, and her gaining her powers from the original Captain Marvel the way it was supposed to be done.
Yeah. We did get Marvel. But the thing is, I'm still not convinced that person who we saw as Marvel, right? The woman.
Yeah,
the doctor.
Yeah, supreme intellect.
She was an alien in disguise, bro. For all we know, she's doing her MIB thing, and she's out here rocking a suit. You know what I'm saying?
Skin suit.
Yeah, she's rocking an Edgar suit.
Yeah, so, I mean, that was the only part that I was just like, you guys didn't really have to change that. Another part that I didn't agree with in the story was she didn't gain her powers from Marvel. She gained her powers from, yet again, another Marvel character gaining their powers from an Infinity Stone,
dog. All day long, like, and I said it to Klep earlier. This is our third character, and fourth if we count Quicksilver, that gets powers directly from these gems.
Yeah, so we have Vision, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver, who all get their powers from the Mind Stone. Yeah, they all gain their powers from the Mind Stone, which is embedded in Vision's head.
Yeah.
And then this story brings us back to the 90s and tells us that Captain Marvel gains her powers from the Tesseract, which is the cosmic cube, aka the space stone.
Sorry,
space stone.
And like, how many times have we seen the space stone? Like, it's been a focus so many times.
Yeah.
Like, all the way back to the first Avenger films, to Captain America First Winter Soldier. What is it?
Yep.
First Avenger.
First Avenger.
We have seen it in the first Thor movie, right?
Yep.
Like, it was just like a quick cameo.
Yep.
And now this film.
Yeah, and if there was any stone that I'm tired of seeing, it's that one.
It's the Tesseract.
That one and the scepter.
It looks cool though, because it's got that cube form,
Yeah, so it goes all the way back to the first two original Infinity Stones that showed up, because like I said, those three that we named had the Mind Stone, which was the scepter, and now this is the Tesseract, which was the cube.
So let's break it down. So Captain Marvel's, aka Carol Danvers, she's an Air Force pilot, right?
Yep.
She's out here, empowering women back in the 90s, bro. Her and her bestie.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. Maria Rambeau.
Oh, shoot.
Rambeau.
I like that.
Not Rambeau, Rambeau.
Rambeau.
Yeah, they put a little...
Yeah, a little
front,
U.
Yeah.
She's a little Cajun with it. Nah, but for real, dog. So she's her best friends with her, and, she out here working in this secret Project Pegasus, which I'm sure the name, if you a fan like we are, you heard that name before.
Yeah, there are tons of Easter eggs that you could pull up, like gems that kind of show where the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe started and where it went. Like, this thing is like an origin of the MCU.
Yeah. Like, matter of fact, the whole Avengers squad gets a name from one Carol Danvers.
Yeah. Let's I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's 50-50 for me. It has its flaws, but it's still watchable. If you're a huge MCU Marvel fan, you will enjoy this movie. Like I said, I'm going back again to see this again. Not because I really want to see it. It's just that I know friends and people who want to see it and they want to watch it with me. So I'm like, you know what? I'll be moral support and help them through this journey, because I mean, it's Marvel, and why not? I love sharing the wealth. So yeah.
So when she didn't get her powers from Marvel, how in the comics she did, right? Yeah. This time around, Captain Marvel, she's over on Earth for some odd reason, and like, she's inventing a ship, right? A ship. That's what she's doing. She's working on a light speed engine.
Yeah.
And at one point, who comes through, Klep? Star Force themselves.
Yeah.
They're here to take that that engine from Captain Marvel, because she's not using it to help out her Kree peoples. She wants to help the enemy.
Yeah.
Who's the enemy, Klep?
The enemy is this race known as the Skrull, who are shapeshifters and can pretty much change into any life form that they choose
Down to the DNA,
Yeah,
Klep.
down to the DNA in the last few couple minutes of memory. So they can pretend to be you for at least 24 hours with those memories.
Yeah.
They can't go back as far as childhood. They can't go back not even years, but they can pretty much fake the funk for a little bit.
Yeah, man. And we were sold a different film on trailers, man.
Yeah.
At least with who the villain really is. You know what I mean? Spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Marvel, the MCU is really trying really hard to push the Kree as like the big baddies of this universe.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you guys watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you go back to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I mean, it's tons and tons
A
of
lot of Creed in there.
Kree, storylines and how the Kree are the bad guys. And
Bro,
so
Kree brought back Coulson.
Yeah.
It's his blood. It's their blood that's running through him.
yeah, and Quake. And Quake. Yeah. Let's talk about Coulson, by the way.
Let's.
Very unnecessary.
You didn't like to have the mighty Clark Gregg?
Listen, I was all about this movie only because Coulson was in it.
Yeah.
That brought me there. Like, of course I was going to go see it anyways because it's a Marvel movie. I'm there. But Coulson, I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm a huge fan of this show. Cannot wait to see these guys in WonderCon. But I just felt he was very unused.
He was, and I mean, it just brought you back to how this friendship between him
How
and
old
Fury.
is this guy? He looked like he was in his 30s in the 90s.
He was in his 30s. He looked like he was in the 40s in Iron Man 1.
Nah, he didn't look like he was in his 40s.
Bro, Clark Gregg is 50-something. Let's not mess around here.
I'm saying, but how old is Coulson supposed to be in the MCU?
He's in his 50s.
You think so?
Absolutely.
I never got that vibe. When I saw him in the first Iron Man, he looked like he was probably in his 30s.
Tony Stark's in his 50s.
I don't know.
You don't think Tony Stark's like 51?
I don't think he's playing 51.
I think he's definitely playing like a 50-year-old.
I think he's playing 40.
Nah.
Well, wait. Let's go back.
I think Pepper Potts is in her 40s.
In Civil War, when Tony was seeing his parents off, he was in his 20s, and that was 1991.
See, somebody out there better do the math for us, because I'm not trying to do all that.
So, like, I just feel like, I mean, I don't think Coulson is that old. Well, I mean, I never assumed that he would be that old. So seeing, maybe they didn't youngin him up enough for me, but he definitely looked the same.
The technology was fire, though. Like, not ones that I
mean, like, Fury, I would believe.
Yo, Fury looked fresh, bro. Sam Jackson looked like he shot this movie a day after Pulp Fiction.
Listen, I would believe that Fury was 30 in the 90s. I would believe that. Because he looks older and well-seasoned, a seasoned spy in present time in the MCU. But Coulson looked way too old to be in the 90s. Like, they needed to... The scene when he was on the stairs, he looked really, really young. He looked like 29-ish, 27, 29-ish. When he was on the stairs.
Klep's over here obsessing about people's age,
I'm just saying, like, if to make it believable, like, how old is Coulson supposed to be in present time? I need to know this.
How old is Captain Marvel, though? Because, like, she did not age a day from the day she, got her powers 6 years prior to, when we actually meet her, as a part of Star Force. And then she shows up in 2018, 2019, whenever, Endgame's happening. That's the scene at the end for all you.
Well, I mean, she's got the Kree blood running through her now.
So it just keeps her young?
Yeah, I mean, I believe so. I think that the Krees age differently. I would believe that. It's alien blood. Like, I would believe that. But beforehand, like, we're talking about Coulson.
Yeah.
This guy, I just don't... He looked 30 in the 90s.
Klep, you know what's crazy, bro?
Yeah.
She absorbed the power of the Tesseract as a mere human.
Yeah.
What's up with that, bro? And then she got up and tried to fight.
Well, no. She was near death in Marvel. Not Marvel.
Jude Law's character.
He put his blood in her and saved her.
But she became kind of like a Kree hybrid human.
Sort of like Coulson. Sort of like Quake. So it's fair to say Kree blood is
got some power.
It's got that Jesus juice. It'll keep you alive.
Let me get some of that blue blood, son.
It'll keep you alive. I don't know, man, but yeah, Coulson I feel like was very, very unnecessary. And I loved seeing him, but he was very underused.
You know who I thought was underused and a little unnecessary to even have on screen, even though I love Lee Pace as the one and only Ronan the Accuser?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was barely in there, bro.
And I have a theory for that. I feel like that they were giving us these characters that we were familiar with in order to keep the story flowing, because like I said, it's an origin story. We're bringing in Captain Marvel. No one knows who she is really, and if we bring in new aliens, then it's you have to explain that. You're like, where were these people during Guardians? Where were these people during Infinity War? Where were these, you know what I mean?
We found out because she came when it was time for her to fight. She came through and took everybody down easily.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Like, she's just too powerful. Like, I don't see like Hulk or even Thor touching her power levels at this point. It's quite frankly over 9,000.
She's OP.
She's OP, bro.
To go back to that Tony Stark thing, he's in his 40s.
All right.
He's in his 40s.
I'll buy it.
Yeah,
I'll buy it.
So
money makes you age differently, you know. I mean, you don't always need that Cree blood. You can just have a little money.
How old are the Kardashians?
How old is J-Lo, bro?
50 and just getting married.
You know what I'm saying?
Congratulations.
True. Let's talk about the villains. We briefly talked about Star Force. How do you think like the dynamic between that group worked? Because they were all hiding a major secret from her, and they knew that if she ever found out, they'd be in dear trouble.
I feel and those are the missing pieces for me. Like, you're bringing back these characters that we're familiar with. Well, at least one. Korath the Conqueror.
The Pursuer.
Korath the Pursuer being there, and not any mention of him like being a part of, you know, Ronan's
crew
or anything.
Although we did see it briefly when he was more encouraged into like talking, like saying the truth, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because
homie Jude Law, he was trying to hide the truth. Like, oh, what happened to her?
Oh yeah.
I guess he didn't want Earth blown up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand the dynamic. Like they were cool, but like I said, there's just a missing element there. Like, I feel like we should have known more about them. We don't know anything about them. We only know about Jude Law and Ronan.
Yeah.
And that was it. I think they could have given us a little bit more.
Let's talk about Kree Central Intelligence. What do they call it, Klep?
Supreme Intelligence.
The Supreme Intelligence. Yeah. What's up with that, bro? Like, you think that's where she's been this whole time, hunting down the Supreme Intelligence, finding, spoilers, a new world for the Skrulls?
I think she's been a protector
of the universe
of the Skrulls, and kind of trying to fulfill Marvel's destiny in that sense.
Ending the war between Skrulls and Kree,
which would make sense because there's been no mention of them ever in present time.
Yeah.
So it's always been like Kree, and Kree's always had their own agenda. You've never really heard about the Skrulls, so maybe they're off safe somewhere, and she, you know, is just protecting them and got her little buzz from the pager and was like, I gotta get back to Earth.
That's quite the pager, by the way.
Yeah.
I like how she upgraded it. Hey, you can't trust you with your communication device. Give me that.
Yeah. No, I mean,
did you like the dynamic between her and Fury?
Yeah.
I thought that worked very well.
It worked. I think that they had a great buddy cop dynamic going on there, which is why I was like, it was just a waste to even throw Coulson in the mix, because like, I really thought it was going to be Coulson Fury with her, and Coulson got no screen time.
No love.
Like, even when, you know, the Skrull came in and
took his place. That's how Fury became a believer.
Yeah.
When we first see him meeting her, he's like, yo, what's up with the crazy lady with the outfit? You know, like, he doesn't believe that, she's Star Force. What she called herself, a race of legendary warrior heroes.
Yeah.
He's like, what? Legendary warrior heroes. So like, we also got to see how Fury lost his eye, yo.
That was such a fucking joke. I hate that. I mean, I get it. It's Marvel. It's Disney. They want to keep things lighthearted and play games and stuff. But I really just didn't really. I don't know. I just thought they just made fun of themselves and just wanted to throw a little jab at the situation. But I think it's funny how like he makes it bigger than what it is. And no one really knows because he won't tell the truth.
Last time I trusted somebody, I lost an eye. And I thought. Initially, because you get like a fake out moment, right? During the car crash, he pulls out a piece of metal from like the top of his forehead.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, that's gonna infect and he's gonna lose his eye through it.
And that's what I thought, because like things kept happening, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna be it. Oh, that's gonna be it. Nope. The end of the movie, you see that he fucking loses his eye from the MVP of the film, Goose the cat.
He's actually not a cat at all.
Flurkin.
He's a flurkin?
Flurkin.
Bro, what's up with the flurkins? They look like cats, but they're able to eat things like way bigger than them.
Internally octopus like.
Yeah.
Like
tentacles. It's weird anime shit.
And it's cool. It's a cool little thing. They changed the character's name.
Yeah.
Just to give a nod to Top Gun, I guess, because of the whole Air Force thing. I mean, if you guys check out, giant size Ms. Marvel, it's the first appearance of the cat known as Chewie, who is a flurkin, and they announced his name in another issue later on. But the actual cat's first appearance is in the giant size Ms. Marvel #1.
Klep, let's talk about the opener for the film, bro.
Yeah.
We got, what we thought were the regular Marvel scroll opening, for the title screen. And what was it, Klep?
Dude,
it was a tribute to the one and only.
I thought that was so cool, man. When I saw that, I almost got teary.
Bro, Stan Lee.
Like Stan Lee in the opening credits. Like normally they'll show the word Marvel coming at you at the screen and show different pictures and visuals of the heroes.
MCU throughout the years.
Yeah, but they changed all the heroes in every single picture with Stan Lee at a different moment.
Different cameo.
Yeah, and I thought that was brilliant.
That was awesome.
And then it ended with a thank you, Stan, which is cool. About time, that they really gave him some props. But how about that fucking cameo?
You liked them when he was just sitting,
dude,
greeting mole rats on the bus.
That was I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith is my favorite writer and director. So I don't care what anyone says.
He got some love.
Yeah, he cried. He saw it and he cried. Put a post up, and Kevin Smith was in tears, saying normally he references the movies, and for the first time the movies referenced him. For the first time, Stan Lee is now, Kevin Smith is an Easter egg now.
Yeah.
And I thought that was brilliant for the time. It's set in the 90s, and for anyone that really knows Stan Lee and follows him, he made a cameo in one of Kevin Smith's second film, Mallrats, as himself.
Yes.
And
so these leads to questions, Klep.
Yeah.
I got questions, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, so Stan Lee is in Mallrats.
Yep.
Playing Stan Lee.
Yep.
Correct?
Yeah.
In that film, he has a rant how he, created these characters such as the Hulk, Spider-Man. He goes on and on, right? Now, in Captain Marvel, his cameo is Stan Lee prepping for the role.
Yep.
So now Stan Lee's playing Stan Lee in this movie as well.
I get where you're going. I see where you're
going.
So now,
how is he talking about these characters in Mallrats? Because now technically Mallrats also exists in the MCU. So and then he's talking about how he created the Hulk. And I don't know, bro. It's
so meta.
It's crazy
it's
meta.
So meta.
I love thinking about it and making
Stan
my
Lee
head
is
hurt.
a watcher.
He is a watcher.
He is a watcher. We know this.
So you're saying that even during this cameo, he's still a watcher? He's just out there watching still?
He's out there watching.
That's why she smiled, because she knew. She's like, you're an alien, but you're a cool alien. We're going to leave you alone.
Yeah. I just love that, man. That whole dynamic, that cameo, that's my favorite Stan Lee cameo ever.
Has it?
Ever. That is my absolute, because it referenced the reference.
Yeah.
It's so meta. I just think it was just perfect. Whoever thought of that, Kevin Feige, if it's you, I don't know, whoever thought of that being, that's something that had to be premeditated. The movie's set in the 90s. We're going to put Stan Lee in the movie. How do we do it? Oh, fuck it. We got to put Stan Lee on the bus reading the script to Mallrats. That is just brilliant.
Epic. It was awesome
brilliant.
to see.
Yeah.
Hey, R.I.P. Stan, man.
Yeah. You missed, man. You missed. I can't wait to see what his cameo was in Endgame.
Yo, he got one for that already, Klep?
Yeah. That's the last one.
Wow.
He did them all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be epic like this, too.
I hope so.
Klep, let's talk about what this film means to Endgame. Because if you don't know, the critics out there are not one, but two after credit scenes. The very first one deals with probably something that happens either immediately after Infinity War or, a few months prior to Endgame. Yeah. It's when they actually all meet for the first time, right? Captain Marvel finally rolls up, meets the rest of the remaining Avengers. What do you think of that scene, Klep?
I thought it was cool. We don't know what's to come. I don't know what the on-screen chemistry is going to be like. So it's still up in the air. It's too soon to tell. But I thought it was cool. It was a good payoff to see them all with her at the end. Did you notice she had a different suit on?
Did she? I did not notice.
She had a totally different suit on. It was same color scheme and everything, but it was newer.
I heard the hairstyle was different too.
No, it was the same.
Was it?
Yeah, I was expecting to see the faux hawk, but no, there wasn't. But she definitely had a different suit on.
What you think of the suit throughout the film, though? Like, it's definitely like a Kree technology situation.
Star Force? No, I mean, I thought that scene with her with Monica when she's changing the colors, I thought that was forced. I felt like, they were just trying to get kids in tune. It was cute, Disney-ish.
Yeah.
But
did you like the powers that the suit had? How it would just like turn into an underwater suit?
Yeah, that was
throw
cool.
the helmet on.
Yeah, that was cool.
It'll turn into like a space suit.
But a lot of the technology that you see her using, like I said, how this is an origin in the MCU, you can tell where S.H.I.E.L.D. got a lot of their technology from. Like
that was awesome. The cloaking. We got to see how the power dampenings that we saw in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, the little thing on the back of the neck.
Yeah, she had it on the back of her neck. Skye had something similar, like on the back of her ear, or was it her forehead?
No, they put it
on the back of it. So, so it just lines up perfectly.
Yeah, so there was so much, with the technology with her, with the nano technology and stuff like that. So it's cool to see where it really originated from.
I remember turning to Klep throughout the film towards the climax battle, and I'm like, bro, she out there in space with no helmet. It's a flex. Hair floating like full Goku. Yo, she is Goku, bro.
Yeah, she's powerful, man.
OD powerful.
I can't wait to see what happens with this.
Is she gonna be that last, she's gonna give Thanos that last moment? Is she the person to do it?
I don't even think Thanos is the final battle. I think Thanos is gonna get wrapped up mid-movie, and then we're gonna be down with something else.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's my theory.
Klep.
Yeah.
Any remainder Skrulls on Earth?
Of course.
Because that's my whole thing. I listen. I like the Skrulls as bad guys just because their power. You know what I mean? It's just it makes it for a very interesting villain. Now the facts is that they made them into a good guy race. They're just refugees trying to find our home world, running from these pursuers. The Kree force.
Yeah.
Are we gonna see more of them? And if so, how and when?
I think we will, and I think that when she returns to Earth, she's going to set off a red flag for the other Kree to come after her. Because remember when Ronan was like, "We'll be back for the weapon," and he's like, "The energy source," and he's like, "No, the woman." Yeah,
but she hasn't been on Earth since, so there's no reason to return to Earth for her.
I think there'll be a red flag that comes up, and that'll set them up for Captain Marvel 2. It's gonna happen.
Do you want that to be a period piece, or you want it to be after whatever?
Yeah, it has to be. Already? It has to be Phase 4. It has to be now. It has to be present. It has to be after Endgame, and I don't know.
Who do you want to see her most interact with out of all the Avengers?
Of course, Tony.
I feel like her and Thor would be fucking hilarious.
Thor works well with anyone.
Because he's just going to be on some, let's compare powers type of situation.
Yeah.
He always wants to be strongest Avenger.
It would have been cool to see her go against Vision, but I would rather see her. I want to see her dynamic with Tony because they're both smart asses.
See, I feel like between Tony and Dr. Stephen Strange, right there, that's as good as it's gonna get between Tony and whoever. You know what I'm saying? Two facial hair bros who are just don't like each other for we already saw it. The brief interactions they had, it was all contentious.
I can't wait to see how this all wraps up, man, because like I said, that post-credit scene, it's a little weird to me. I don't understand. There's so much explaining to do and so much I do. It's just the kind of thing you can't speculate. You got to see it happen in real time.
Klep, let's talk about the second end credit scene. It seems like the second end credit scenes for these days are just played out for comedy.
Yeah.
We saw it with Ant-Man and the Wasp.
And Patience and Homecoming.
Yeah, it's what's up with this? We have the new Ant just playing the drums.
Yeah,
and this time around it's
Goose the cat.
The Flurkin.
The Flurkin regurgitating a certain Infinity Stone.
Which you can already guess what it is because it's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Klep, that's all we got.
Is it?
Yeah, that's all we got for Captain Marvel, bro.
Well, I want to give my final thoughts.
Wrap it up.
All right, so Captain Marvel overall, I think it's a C-.
Yeah.
3 out of 5. Our reviews up online. You can check it out.
WeAreCritics.com.
WeAreCritics.com. If you want to, watch new trailers and any kind of other news, check us out on Facebook, on We Are Critics on Instagram, We Are Critics Comics on Instagram, and We Are Critics on Facebook, and also our YouTube, where you can see this video version of our podcast about Captain Marvel. Other than that, I think the movie's a really good movie, but it lacks in some areas. It's very unnecessary to be dropped in right at the end of the 3rd phase. It should start 4th phase, in my opinion. Brie Larson does amazing. I think she balances alien mentality and human mentality in a great way. And for those people who keep calling it no emotion, they need to understand that the Kree are a different kind of creature versus what we are as humans.
Yeah. They're humanoids, they're not humans.
So I think she does very well in that. Overall, the movie to me, like I said, 3 out of 5. Check it out with your daughters, check it out with your sisters, check it out with your mothers, because it's definitely full of girl power and very necessary for the MCU at this point in their 10-year history of entertaining us.
For sure. Thank you for joining us for episode 50, Critics Talk. Klep, you want to leave them with a little something?
As always, Critics Talk, we out. We want to make sure you guys wake up, be passionate, create, repeat. Peace.